Good day everyone, this is Junaid Khan and I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Let's talk about the flag polling. This video is going to be the end of flag polling.
Beyond these efforts, we're proposing new measures to strengthen the integrity of the immigration system. The first is to put an end to an irritant with the US, which is a practice known as flag polling. People that leave Canada with no intention to go back, no intention to spend any time in the US, but then immediately go back in to get quicker processing at the border, where they would have to wait in Canada. Flag polling uses up valuable resources on both sides of the border, slows border traffic, and prevents officers on both sides of the border from focusing on more critical tasks. When this change comes into effect, temporary residents already in Canada will have to apply online to extend their stay, and flag polling will no longer be an option.
So as you've seen in the video from the Honorable Minister Mark Miller, flag polling is about to end. There is no certain date yet announced that when it is going to be end, but I have seen a post from CBSA today that it is no more valid. Let's just talk about what is flag polling, and then I will tell you guys in a little bit of detail that what used to happen and what is going to happen after this video. So flag polling is basically when people they want to change in their status. A student is getting a postgraduate work permit, so there's a change of status from a study permit to a work permit. Or if someone needs a spousal open work permit, or there is a permit expiring and they need to revive that, or they have to change their status from one particular to the other, what people used to do, they used to go to their nearest borders, and that considers an exit, and then they can get their documentation ready right then and there. For an example, if you're a student, you have finished your education. After finishing your education, you need to apply the postgraduate work permit. You go to the nearest exit wherever you live, and then at the borders, you can basically change your status from a study permit to a work permit. So they will prepare the documentation for you right then and there, and there you go. You don't have to apply online, and you can just convert your status in one trip. Now this is going to end, and in today's video it's basically expired already with what I have seen from the CBSA notification today. So what's going to happen now? So let's just talk about why Canada stopped this practice. Well, because there is a lot more pressure on the US agencies which have been working at the airport, because definitely if a person is exiting Canada, entering the US, coming back to Canada and applying for a permit, they have to do all sort of documentation over there. They have to prepare your documentation, they have to put you on a waiting list right then and there. It takes a bit of a time, and you have to mindful of this reason as well, that there are hundreds of people going in the same day and getting their operational hours, extending their operational hours basically. So imagine at the borders, there are people who are crossing, who are traveling towards the borders, towards Canada or towards US, and on top of that work, they have to do an extra thing, which is get your documentation ready and provide you the permits you require. So to ease of a process, to take off the stress of this process from the border agencies and the people who are working at the port of entry, so flag polling is going to be end. What's going to happen now? People who needs to change their statuses in Canada, they have to apply online. So if you're a student, finish up your education, now instead of going to the border and get the flag polling done, you have to apply it online. Now a question might arise that once you go to the border, to the flagpole, and get your visa converted, that's going to be done right then and there. There is no waiting list, and you come back having your work permit in your hand. So what's going to happen now? definitely online process takes time. You know, you have to apply, you have to wait for the results, and then you have to wait for the physical work permit delivered to your address. But a lot of students ask me this question, like, you know, if we have applied online, and will we be able to work during that time? Because let's say if I didn't get my work permit in a month, so am I able to work during that month? The answer is yes, because I've been getting a lot of calls specifically from the students, because if you go online and check the online application processing time, it is about 120 to 180 days. So that's a couple of months basically. So students were really struggling to understand that, you know, would they be able to work during that time, because these are a matter of months now. It is not that you have to go to the border and you have to flagpole and come back with the work permit in your hand. So you can definitely work. So what is it called? Because once you apply online, definitely you would not get your work permit right away or delivered to your doorstep right away. Within the meantime, what's going to happen is you will get your interim work permit. So during the time you apply your work permit and the time you get your work permit, during that time you will be on your interim work permit. That means the document you receive from IRCC is basically giving you a validity to work wherever you want to. So you can basically work during that time. You don't have to wait for your work permit to arrive and start your job, but you can actually work. This is not only implementing on students, you know, people who are applying for their spousal open work permits, you know, or changing the statuses from one category to another category, people with the LMIA's work permits, you know, students I've talked about. So all of these people are basically entered in that category, that they are not allowed to go to the nearest border, get the flagpoling done, and get their work permits in hand. So all of these the status changes are going to be applied online going forward, and you have to apply online and you have to check what are the regulations are set on your particular statuses, and you have to implement that accordingly. Thank you very much.